We all know why we're here. So let me ask you a question then. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, break it down. Now can you peep it? They're deceiving all the people. Let me ask you, what's the secret? Misinformation and lies, a devious disguise. They want the EMF blast until our brains is fried. Oh, point their beams in the sky. Oh, it's a movie now. This world is all CGI. Their plot is truly foul. But we're here to rise up and bring the real. Time is now, truth seekers. Y'all know how I feel. Truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, why the big secret?
Truth Seekers, this is for you, baby.
To everyone tuning in, let me ask you, why the big secret concealing it from the mass view? UFOs circled in the sky, still get no reply. I think it's time for truth seekers to rise. Hands up if you're feeling how I'm feeling. Spread the truth and start revealing. Knocking down the doors of the big secret keepers. Truth seekers coming through your speakers. What?
All right, everyone, I want to welcome you to Why the Big Secret as we are talking tonight, and it is Sunday night, and I know you could have been anywhere else tonight, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show airs. We're going to be talking tonight about Dr. Garry Nolan. He's been in the news since sometime last week. And, you know, I just can't help but think about some of the things that he's said, how the public is reacting to some of the things he said, how we should react to some of the things that he said, all the way down to the sentiment of respect for this particular man, if you want to. And so we're going to get into a little bit of good, the bad, the ugly tonight, based upon some of the things that some of his assertions that was out here into the public. And if you have not heard about him or know about him, I'll give you a little background of who he is in just a moment. But for the most part, some of the things that he said and what he's talking about when it gets down to, number one, we're not here. We're not alone. The extraterrestrials are 100% here. And for him to be using the word 100%, you know, kind of sends a frenzy out to the public, but also to a point to where it's like, you know, not so much the boy cried wolf, because he's not crying wolf, maybe. But if you are going to say 100%, then you want to back that up with documentation beats conversation, right? And I think that's something that we all should be literally wanting to think about when it comes down to this every single time. And so we're going to go into that a little bit today. We're going to go into his assertions. We're going to go into, like I said before, and I'll show you a couple of clips of what he said that'll bring you up to speed. And then I will also integrate what we would do here in the chat if some of you want to do. So first of all, let me give a shout out to everybody who's here already. We got Jarrell is here. We have, is that app UFO? Okay, I'm just going to go that way. Clement is here. Lynn is here with us. Native V is in the house. Welcome. It's been a while. JC is in the house. The Body Electric is here. In the World Today is here. And we have Sage. What's up, Sage? And Sagittarius Rising is here as well. And along with anyone else, if you are here and you'd like to get a shout out in the chat, go ahead and throw yourself in here. Victoria, what's going on? We haven't talked to you in a while, and definitely you and I and a few of us, we need to get some update as well. So anyway, Rainbow Light Warrior and everyone else. And so anyway, let's get down into what is happening with him. Let me get some background information, and I'm going to read this a little bit so you'll kind of know who he is and what is happening with him. Dr. Garry Nolan, I'm just giving you a background, was born in 1961. What does that matter? He's also an American immunologist, an academic inventor, and a business executive. Now, he holds the Rasher Award, the Carlotto at the Harrison Professor Endowed Chair. And he's also in the Department of Pathology at Stanford University. Now, that is pretty cool. All right, so let's go here. I want to thank our new member. All right, yes, we do have our new YouTube membership. And I was going to give out a shout out to a couple of people that already joined. I was going to do it a little later, but Victoria, I'm going to add you to that list in a few moments. And thank you for becoming a new member to support the show. And we got a lot of great things coming behind that. So once again, and if anyone else, you can join our membership to support the show. It is a blessing. It's something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. But I'll give a shout out to Darrell and other folks who also is part of that as well. But anyway, regarding his education, Nolan was graduated in Cornell University. He also had a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Now, here's where it gets tricky, which is great. He has a specialization in genetics, okay? He also received his PhD in genetics from Stanford. He's also researched areas from autoimmunity, inflammation, cancer, leukemia, hepatitis. He also has done a lot of work with the government. So it's no wonder the person that they call to be doing that as well. All right, we got another member to the ship to our site. Thank you, Native V as well. And you've always been a blessing, and all of you have to what I'm doing. And I can only say just thank you for supporting as well. And I'll add to the list of the shout outs. Matter of fact, I have it right here. We'll get to that as well. So I'm going to add Native V to it because I want to do a special thanks to each and every one of you for joining the membership as well. So why is it important, his background? His background is really important, everyone, because he was one of the persons that our United States military called into action when it came down to, what should I say, when they needed someone to examine the fighter pilots that were encountering UFOs. He was the one that they called. He was the one that they said, hey, come and check out the brain damage, all of the bodily harm that has been happening with these encounters. So that first gave me the check, number one. Say, okay, fine. This guy may know what he's talking about because why? He is part of the Inside Collective. They called him. He didn't call them. They said, we need your help. So when someone like that does come out and make some of these assertions, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, right? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt of what's going on. All right, so we got the greatness of Diana in the house today, and my apologies to you, to everybody. Well, she knows the inside story, but she's in town, not far, visiting some family, and she was going to come by the studio and pretty much, and then I got tied up, really got tied up. But either way, it's one of those things. And so let me first start with the first clip that we want to show, that we will talk about something that he said. So here's the first particular clip This was an interview that he did I would say about 10 days ago on live stage. And let me break it down. Here's the first one.
I'm curious, do you believe that extraterrestrial intelligence has visited planet Earth?
So he answered that question, right? He answered I didn't play the answer for you, did I? Ha! I didn't play the answer. Well, maybe I did it purposely, maybe not, but I wanted to just give you something to think about. He answered that particular question live in an event that was recorded, that went viral. And like I said, he's somebody who should know when it comes down to this. So let's play. It's a 30-second clip. Let's play the entire clip and let's go right now.
I'm curious, do you believe that extraterrestrial intelligence has visited planet Earth?
What I'm saying is I really want to play the answer because this dude here really put this thing out here, y'all. He put it out. Some of you know the answer, but just to hear him say it. Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to play it this time. I promise.
I'm curious. Do you believe that extraterrestrial intelligence has visited planet Earth?
I think you can go a step further. It hasn't just visited. It's been here a long time, and it's still here. And it has basically, people talk about the wow signal, looking for extraterrestrial intelligence. The wow signal is that people see it on an almost regular basis. That's the communication that's already here.
There you go. So, and let me give a shout out to Mark Eddy. Mark, give me a call tomorrow. I need to do some follow-up with you. So if you're still here listening and watching, give me a call tomorrow. Send me an email the time that you're going to be available. Montaris says my beard is growing. I'm actually planning on cutting it. I'm deciding if I want to trim it all the way down and give it real low or let it come down a little more. So that's something. But anyway, what do y'all think about that? Put it in chat. Garry Nolan, I'm not saying that. What do you think about UFOs and extraterrestrials? And I'll give you a good background about the wow signal in a minute. But what do you think about a person with his credentials would come on the record and say what he said? Because at this point, he's putting everybody else on blast who didn't say anything. And he's somebody who wouldn't know. So what are your thoughts? Put it in the chat. Let's put it into the conversation. And let's get down into it because we all are in the game, right? We all are in the game. So let us go and talk about this together, what he said, because here's a man that said 100% they are here. Now, you're not going to get that on a normal basis from someone higher into the hierarchy of this conspiracy of it all, right? They're not going to admit that. They're going to say, yeah, we got the evidence. And then when he also said the wow factor, now the wow signal at some point was this signal that some people heard long time ago, that they heard it all over the globe. And supposedly they was doing either some drilling, and somebody correct me, but it came from underneath. This is also kind of, helped out with the hollow earth theory or the inner earth theory as well, that something came from there. But anyway, also he's referring to that now, everybody sees these things. If the wow is past the point, we know they're here. All right. So Native B said it's about time that someone needs to speak up. I agree with you 100%, because especially somebody of value, somebody who they can't deny that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's worked on the bodies, and I'm not talking about alien bodies, but this man worked on the bodies that the military sent to him or the people and said, can you look at what is happening with our pilots? They came encounter with a UFO the other day. So this dude knows what he's talking about, right? Of course he does. All right. So we'll get to that. Also, Cold-Blooded said he's tired of the BS. They have been here for a long time. Absolutely. And that is what he said. And we all know this. I think most of the people in the community of ufology knows that they've been here all the time. And if you just joining us, welcome. We're talking about the extraterrestrials. We're talking about Dr. Garry Nolan saying they're 100% here, and meaning they're here, been here. And he said they've been here. So I got another clip that I'll show too as well. And this is what I thought was pretty cool. And he was talking about let me just play it and we'll get into it together. This is almost about 2 minutes, okay? So just kind of check it out. A minute and 48 seconds, but it is very for our baseline of what we're doing.
If
so
you
let's
had to assign a probability to that statement that you believe extraterrestrial intelligence has visited this planet, what probability would you assign?
100%. And that's not just my opinion. I mean, look, the National Defense Appropriation Act, passed last year, signed by Biden in December. 30 pages of that is the establishment of an unidentified aerial phenomenon office, the establishment of looking into the harm that's happened to any of a number of the individuals, going back to 1945 and looking at the disinformation and misinformation that has been basically articulated over the decades. 12 US senators have signed on to a document that basically says we want the information. The establishment of an office, Arrow, in the Department of Defense, has 25 people working in it right now. And what's their goal? Collecting the information across all of the U.S. Department of Defense intelligence offices, and collation of that into a uniform format for the very first time, and provision of that then to Congress, the creation of a whistleblowers program specifically that allows people from within, I'm going to say this, who've been working on the reverse engineering programs, reverse engineering of objects, so that they can come in and break their oaths, but it's specifically just to talk to Congress and give that information in classified settings. And that the most recent one that happened was just last weekend, and it created quite a hornet's nest in Washington.
Now, he said a lot. And one of the things, he said 2 or 3 things in this. Number one, 100%. He said it's 100%. The other part of that, he gets into talking about how the government, right? The proof. He's like, if you want proof, pay attention to what's going on in the government. The government is setting up offices, facilities, the Whistleblowers Act, putting these mechanisms in place so that the stories and people and all this can be observed. And I'm using the word observe because I would not use the word disclose, because they're not going to tell us nothing. That's a whole nother story. I'm going to make a note here because I know y'all just think all of this is going down the road of disclosure. I'm telling you, the game of disclosure will never go away. Okay? Quote me on this. They're just going to change the rules. They're going to change the rules so that we think we're getting disclosure, and we're not going to get disclosure. We're only going to get a little more things. They're going to tell us something, and something is really nothing. Okay? So we got the truth seekers. We're going to go down this path ourselves. Okay? Another part of this is when he talks about, once again, the government, okay, the big secret keepers. That's who we say they are here on this particular show. And also, if you see anyone with the green letters, those people got some VIP in what we're doing because they are channel members that we just started our membership. So if you want to also claim the green and also have priority in commenting and a lot of other stuff behind the scenes, join the membership. It's right somewhere. There's a link in the description, and then it should be somewhere on your phone or on the thing. You can just join. All right. So, but here, listen. He also claimed, like I said before, that aliens has been here a long time and they're still here. Now, when you use the word "still here," that changes everything, right? Nick Larkin, do I have green letters? No, you don't have green letters, Nick. You have to. I just activated YouTube channel membership last night. But if you look somewhere on your phone, you can join right now. And like y'all know, Nick is one of our founding community, just my man. Okay. He helped put a lot of stuff together for me. He is a former Navy intelligence officer, all of that stuff. And he just been with us from day one of the coolest cats out there. And if his son is watching, your daddy is cool. Your dad is cool, man. He really is. No matter what they say about him, he's cool. He's really cool. All right. So anyway, I'm just saying that we have to understand what and listen closely to what he said. He goes, I'm going to put 100% that they hear. I'm also going to put 100% that they're still here and been here. Whoa. See, that's the point that trickles down to which the big secret keepers ain't going to like that, right? They don't like him saying they hear and been here. Okay. That is something that they've been trying to, get away from that. They don't want anybody to pin their tails back or whatever you want to, ears back and say, we know they hear, they hear, and blah, blah, blah. You're going to tell us. He knows, and he really knows. And all right, so Nick says, careful. They will start calling me a CIA plant again. Okay. No, they're not. If you get a channel membership here with Wilda Big Secret, you will become one of us, and you're already part of it anyway, part of us. But then anybody who wears that badge, then they're the truth seeker seeking the truth, and pretty much. Now, all right. Sagittarius Rising says aliens were never not here. I agree with you, and I think it's something that we have to do. So, but here's the next part. The next part is that he also suggests that the existence of advanced, and now this is different from what the norm we talked about. So listen to what I'm saying. He said advanced extraterrestrial intelligence could be perceived as an intelligent test for humans. And he went into using an analogy about any of us going over to the Amazon, right? And it was probably a great analogy. Okay. He was like, look, what if we want to go over and take a trip to the Amazon and we're going to go to a tribe of cannibals, right? And you know what that is, right? And would you go in there yourself to go speak and observe these cannibals? Or would you send some type of advanced technology, drone, in particular, to observe them so that you're not, part of their meal the next day? And unlike what we have here in our society, we're not trying to shoot them down and all of that stuff. So why would they want to act that way? So why wouldn't they send some advanced technology to check us out? Makes sense. Makes sense to me. If you was in the military, we have recon divisions. Everybody's going to go out and check some things out. But in this case, he's saying you're not going to walk into the hornet's nest like that. So that also threw a little shade. I'm going to use that word into those of us who are saying, wait a minute, is all the extraterrestrials and ETs are flying around? What are they? Because you got to remember this. In the public sentiment, we all trying to ask for disclosure. We all want to know what is happening. And the one thing we set out to for every day is say, okay, I want to know what's flying around in our skies. Government needs to, the big secret keepers got to tell us what's flying around in our skies. Is that what we really want to know? And that's my question, because are we making a big deal out of something flying around in our skies? Or do we really want to know who's driving them? See, that's a big difference between the game that they're playing right now. They have no quorums in deciding, and have decided probably behind the scenes, to give the people what they want. They're going to give us what we want. We want to know, is something flying around? Is UFOs are real? Yeah, they're real. Anything flying around that we don't know what it is identified as unidentified flying object, period. No matter. Could it be a bug? If we don't know what kind of bug it is flying, it's unidentified, right? It's flying. But what they're saying is, we think the public is strong enough to handle the fact that there's orbs, there's flying saucers, all of that. That's okay. They're okay with that now. They're going to see it anyway. Most of them are looking up and they see this stuff anyway. But what they don't know is who's driving them. And that's the last frontier of disclosure, because you can care less. I guarantee you, if there was a room and two doors, and every last one of you was invited to come to this room, this big room, and door number one says you can see some alien spacecraft, okay, or some stuff that crashed or whatever. Come on in. You only get to choose one door. Door number two, you get to see an alien body and meet an alien. Which door are you going to go in? Put it in the chat. Number one or number two? Number one is the spacecraft door. Number two is meet an alien or alien bodies, whatever. The evidence of extraterrestrial. not just this thing over here. I would almost assume that, I'm not going to assume, assumption is the mother of all mess ups. So let's see what you say. Jarrell says number 2. I would have guessed it, right? Nick says number 2. In the World says number 2. Matthew says number 2. I would probably have guessed that. So y'all get Magneticus, he just, okay. He's an alien anyway. You don't need to see another alien. I'm just kidding. But the whole point is, all right, we got another one. JC says 1. So what I'm saying is, I think the majority, if it was me and I had to be a betting man, I will put the money on number 2, that the majority of the people can care less if it came between the two about an object, some spalling aircraft, some debris, whatever you want to call it, versus the other room that has actual alien bodies, dead or alive, period. Okay. I would assume that we're going to go at number 2. And for me, I'm tuning it up all day, baby, because I don't care about the other stuff. I need to see. And this is where I'm going with Dr. Garry Nolan, because he not seen alien bodies, but he's worked on the human bodies that have come in contact with the alien situations, right? So therefore, he's speaking from that position of knowledge, saying, and like someone said earlier in the chat, he don't care. He don't care. He's fed up. He's probably fed up with the hypocrisy or democracy or whatever I say, hypocrisy of our big secret keepers, of saying one thing that they're going to show us something and another thing they're not doing a darn thing. So he ain't going for that, right? He's not doing it. So anyway, yeah, someone said I'll go into number 1 to fly into number 2. Boy, look, give a mouse a cookie, they want a glass of milk. You want it all, right? You're saying, hey, let's take it all, and pretty much from there. If anyone want to give a shout out to supporting the show, to be tonight's sponsor, the Cash App is coming across the screen. It's going back and forth. I would love for you to support the show at any point, or just whatever. And it is appreciated. So anyway, so let's keep going. I got a few more clips that we're going to show, and we got a lot more conversations that we're going to get. So when he gets back down, the gentleman asked him, what was the evidence out there? What do he think? Now, another part from that, he did mention that we need to pay attention to what the big secret keepers are doing, from Arrow, the Whistleblowers Act. All that stuff is important. But if you listen to why we were all applauding the Whistleblowers Act, we were happy for it. It don't equate to disclosure to the public. It never had. It was only for them to go to Congress, so Congress could say, we know what's going on. And the purse keepers, okay, now these are different than the big secret keepers. The purse keepers are the one writing the checks. They just want to know where the money's going. They're going to do it anyway, because all they got to do is classify under national security, and not a congressman on the planet, senator, can't fall in line with that. They all have to. They're going to fall in line with the presence of national security, right? So, but they have a right to know, so they question it. And like I said, they put in this Whistleblowers Act, and we're all happy. And yeah. And like he said, what they said just rattled the bees. Okay, what did they say? And he ain't even a part of that, and he know it. So somebody's leaking. He ain't part of the whistleblowers on the backside, but for him to know what it was, somebody's talking, right? All right, I know that's just me. That's me. But here's what he said about the evidence.
Well, I think the most compelling evidence is you just need to look at what your government is doing right now about it. I mean, just go and look at the number of politicians, and this is interesting, on both sides of the aisle, who have come together and signed off on this statement. I mean, I was involved last year with putting together some of the wording of the NDAA, which was passed into law. So, I mean, so what are they basing their opinions on? They're basing their opinions on the dozens of individuals who, in one manner or another, have come forward and talked to them in classified settings. So that's the first thing. Then my personal experiences with the individuals the one person who actually was involved with collecting a lot of that original information, and then my experience with people who, frankly, I know have worked or are working on the reverse engineering programs.
There you go. So, like he said, he has experience of people working on the reverse engineering programs. He already know who they are, and pretty much. And so, Now, reverse engineering, for those of you, simply means that somebody found a craft and now they have taken that craft and they're seeing some or whatever they found and are taking that and now it's being introduced in our everyday technology. And, that could be AI. You never know. But the whole point is it could be cell phones. It could be microwaves. It could be something engineered in our vehicles, some technology. And a lot of our technology and tech today probably is some type of alien technology that was reverse engineered. We just don't know what it is, but some of these leading and cutting edge companies out there, they got their own crash retrieval teams. They got their own satellites. Elon Musk and them see the whole sky just like the government does, like NASA. When they see something fall, they go get it, right? And so they pretty much like, we're going to go get it. We're going to look at what's happening and pretty much do that as well. So if you own the company too, you're going to, whoever get, and you got to remember, just because it fell from the sky don't mean the big secret keepers own it. They don't own it. Someone else get to do it too. Someone else get to go in particular, whoever gets there first. And that's what it is. All right. In the chat, Glenn is here as well. He said, with all the mainstay says to look up. This means the answers will be found looking down subterranean. That's possible. I just did a video about Hollow Earth and some of the implications and conspiracies and thoughts. Definitely check that video out. I just posted it, kind of a 15-minute video. You can't, it's pretty cool. Check it out from there. What's up, Jeff? Jeff is in the house. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube channel and all that stuff. Jeff is part of Project Black as well. And we're going to be doing a lot of things. He's funny. Jeff is funny as well. I may get him into this live stream in a little bit if he got time. He's in Cali, so his hours are a little different. Clement, all right. So Matthew, I just said what you said up there as well. JC is in the house. James is in the house and everything else. And so we're at the top of the hour just a little bit. So as always, I want to let everyone know that we have the Forbidden Knowledge Conscious Awards coming up. If you did not know that I am in the finalists in what we call the TV host category. If you already voted for me, now it's time to vote again now for the finalists. And these are the great people that I'm up against: Robert Grant, Teresa Bullard. And so there's some stiff competition, but with your help, we can prevail. And simply all you have to do is go to voteforroderick.com, and that'll send you over to the Forbidden Knowledge website, and you'll be able to put me in as the television host choice and everything else. And then if you have not gotten your tickets or anything about the event, you need to check it out. Here's some information for you right now.
Hey everybody, it's Billy Carson, also known as Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about a very special event coming up July 30th, 2023. The Forbidden Conscious Awards, the first annual event of its type. We're going to honor people who have been contributing to the conscious community for decades. People that you know and love that have helped you get to higher levels of thought and consciousness and awareness. And guess what? It's time to give them their flowers while they're still alive. It's going to be a live in-person event, but seats are going to sell out very fast. You want to make sure you're there in person for this amazing level event. It's going to be above the Oscars, above the Grammys. And guess what? You can help vote for the winners. Voting is available on forbiddenknowledge.com. And the categories are going to be social media influencer, podcast/radio host, TV host, actor, director, producer, entrepreneurs, health and wellness, philanthropists, authors, field researchers, archaeologists, space anomaly hunters, and of course, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And you want to be there in person because I'm going to be speaking. That's right, I'll be your keynote speaker that night at the Forbidden Conscious Awards. If you want to come to a mini conference, this is the place to be because I'm going to give you the knowledge that night as well as performances. We have celebrity guests performing. We'll have a halftime show where we're actually going to perform music for you. And don't forget about the pre-event mixer, where if you buy a box seat, you'll be in the VIP section, and you also have private access to a VIP mixer with celebrity guests. Shake hands, break bread, network, and then walk the red carpet with us and take amazing photos. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to forget this. And you help vote by going to forbiddenknowledge.com. Go to the Conscious Awards link. You can text in a vote for who you want for any category, as well as if you're out of the country, you can use the web form ballot to still vote for anyone you think is worthy of being honored that night. Make sure you hurry up and get your tickets because they're selling out very fast. I want to see you there. Forbidden Conscious Awards 2023.
All right, so y'all heard it. Get your tickets.
Are we alone? So many questions unanswered. Secrets amassed like a poisonous cancer. Find the files, but the evidence tampered. UFOs flying by become the standard. The war for information is far from over. Truth seekers bringing disclosure. What's done in the dark shall be revealed in time. Why the big secret about to blow your mind?
What? All right, so like you said, vote for Roderick. Vote for Roderick. Vote for Roderick if you have already done that as well. And real quickly, as y'all know, we got our Project Black shirts are in the house. And we are now initiating Project Black. I mean, the response of people, the emails, if you go to wildabigsecret.com, if you want to be a volunteer, you can, there's a place to submit. Over the last probably week since the website has been up to accept volunteers, we're probably like 26 people into it. A lot of people in all multiple ethnicities, races, all of that stuff. I mean, just the outpour is great. I'd already had probably 60 people prior to that's doing that. And so I want to give a special thanks to all of the shirts that will be going out this week for the orders. If you have not ordered yours, you can do that simply here at the Cash App. Just $30. That includes the shipping. And you will get, and just put your telephone number and I'll call to complete the order, address, size, and all that stuff. And there you go. You will get this particular and there's other shirts if you just want some stuff. We have our Truth Seekers. I'll show that in a minute. But I want to give a shout out to Sherry. I want to give a shout out to Aaron. I want to give a shout out to Teresa. I want to give a shout out to Dominga. I want to give a shout out to Liz. I want to give a shout out to Sage. I want to give a shout out to Josiah. Veronica. I want to give a shout out to Marla. I want to give a shout out to Jen. I want to give a shout out to Tim. I want to give a shout out to Barbara. All of these people, and some ordered several shirts for their family members and just this last few days. And it's just a beautiful thing to support what we're doing. And like I said, if you want, they're all will be going out this week. And so most of them are finished up today. And if you want yours, and you can also get the street team shirt. This is the Why the Big Secret Truth Seekers shirt. And now the shirt can come with or without the alien, right? It can come either way. But as you can see, it's our street team. These are for people to wear. And then on the back of it does have a QR code where somebody can scan it and it'll bring them over to the YouTube channel on the back. But this is also for a lot of people that are now going to be part of our street team. We're going to do maybe a weekly or bi-weekly conference call where we would say, hey, these are the questions we want to ask people. They're going to go out with their cameras, go out into the public and say, hey, what do you think about aliens? What do you think about this? And send those clips in, and they'll be part of our shows so we can get the word on the street. We have to know what the word on the street is about not only everything that we're doing, the governments, the conspiracies. And so we're going to enter, and that's not another show out there that's going to be doing what we're doing, but you can be a part of that. So once again, you can get QR, you can use right here to cash out, order your shirt, and then I will send out the information or put in your telephone number and I'll call you, and then we will do that. And the shirt comes in different colors as well if you want the pronoun or pink. And like I said, you may not want the alien. All you got, when I call you, you can say, hey, I just want the Truth Seeker part on the front of it only, street team. And of course, the QR code and a little Why the Big Secret tag on the back is pretty cool. Then we would do that as well. So let's get back into the show. And I want to thank, all right. So, all right, Brandy, thank you for ordering your shirt. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're good. Somebody's ordering, and so I appreciate that as well. So let me look back here. Still planning on getting mine after rent. Okay, that's cool. Melanated to Roderick Martin. All right, cool. Be on. I wish that QR code was on the front. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Special orders are done, Magneticus. We can do that. All right. So yeah, and you can also order hoodies too. Yeah, they're a little more, but once again, we can. I already got a couple of people getting some hoodies already done too. So we can definitely do that as well. Whatever it is, like I said, you could do, and like I said, you could, there's all of the Cash App stuff is right here on the bottom of the screen, and I will hope that more of you support what we're doing. And it don't have to be Project Black if you don't want. It can simply be the Truth Seekers, and then I do have other little stuff on the website as well that we can go. All right, so let's get back into the story that we're talking about tonight. I'm gonna start with a different clip, and this particular clip I thought was pretty strong. It was really, really strong because he was talking about these UFOs, and this goes back into a lot of things that have been in the news lately when it comes down to these sightings. But just listen to what he says about this. It's about a minute, and then we're going to get into this, and it's going to answer one of these questions that I think is spreading around all the time, right? But we'll get into that, especially when it comes down to people like, well, those China balloons, or we shot down these UFOs. Listen to the description, what he says these things are capable of doing. Go back to your memory and go back to all the news stuff that was out there the last few weeks, to where you heard all of these. Remember last month, 2 months, we shot down another one. We shot down another one. Now listen to the true descriptive of how they move, what their capabilities are. And you ask me, or ask yourself, why would they put that out there in public knowing that it was not true? So let's go with that right now.
So we have multiple simultaneous sensor systems that have seen these objects go from 50 feet above the water to up to 14 miles and then back in less than a second. All right, I mean, that's just a truth. The U.S. government has confirmed that these kinds of measurements are done. Now, they're very careful what they say. They say, well, we have no evidence of ET. Well, because, no ET is going to come walking in here and say hello, right? But if you read between the lines on the flip side of it, it does stuff that we can't do. We know that the Russians and the Chinese are not doing. And so if you can go from 0 to 5,000 miles an hour and take a right turn and not end up squished like a bug on the windscreen on the other side, if they have windscreens, then what is the physics that accomplishes that? So what that tells you is that we need to rethink our physics, first of all, to say that, well, we saw birds fly, so it took us 3,000 years and we figured out how to fly. But now we see these things doing this. So what is it that lets us do? So I know some of the physicists on the inside who work at some of these big defense corporations who basically said, oh, well, here's how you tweak even general relativity to accomplish that.
All right, so there you go. So what did you hear him say? Think about it. These things are coming out the water. That's another story. The water. And they're moving to a point of 14 miles less than a second. So think about, you are 100 miles, or let's just say you're in Houston, Texas, and you're in Dallas. That's about 300 miles. And those things have the capabilities of moving 14 miles a second. So that means if I said to you, you need me to come to Houston, which is normally a 3 or 4 hour drive, that I will be there in a few minutes, a couple of minutes, tops, or less. Not even a couple of minutes, maybe 30 seconds. I'm down there in Houston, or maybe faster. I'm down there. So that's how we had them coming from the East Coast to the West Coast with less than a minute. And this is why you get the stories, and I've said it before, where something comes out of the water. Now we got the Coast Guard that's now talking about we're going to track it. All of a sudden, it gets in the sky and outruns the Coast Guard, and then the Navy, and they're trying to track it. It leaves them. Somewhere along the way, it hits over Texas, and now all of a sudden, we have the Air Force trying to track this thing. Then it keeps going and outruns the Air Force. Then it keeps going over down to the Army, everyone else. And this is why they put this new arrow together because our government is so compartmentalized. None of them responding and talking to each other, but they all could be reporting the same encounter or have it in their own personal files, but they're not working together and say it was the same thing. And this thing can travel so fast, and don't let it land and abduct somebody. And now the Army and everybody's on board, and then it goes back up wherever it's going, all within seconds. And so when we have the news sitting out there saying, oh, we shot down another one. No, that was probably some in-house tech from some multinational company testing their new technology, and this what went down. We do not have the capabilities at some point to shoot down some of these things. Now, like he said, they do crash. And so if they do crash, we getting a lot of crash retrievals of some of these objects that are maybe driven autonomously. But other side of that, we're, without some mistake on their part, they're not deliberately getting shot down by our technology. Not at least something that we know about, and that's not something they fear about. But the other part, like you said, is they're coming out of the water and going back in. And we know that they're not searching the water. They're not searching the water at all, right? And we have all this technology and money that we're going outer space. We're not going inner space. Why? Because maybe we just told not to go there. We just told not to go there. And that's something that we will look at from there and pretty much. And so with that being said, all right. So I'm glad that we are getting along here. And once again, I want to thank our new membership members. Okay. So let me give a good shout out real quick. We have a YouTube membership that you can support us. And believe me, the support structure is wherever it is for you, and all is appreciated. We have anywhere from $2.99 on up, $2.99. And by the time YouTube takes their whatever, that's probably $1 or maybe $2 come to the show. And if it's something that you can do on a monthly basis, $2, and we provide enough content, or at least we know, or I would think that what we do is worth that, right? And so if you can do that, that will be so precious. But in the meantime, we have new members that join. I just activated that, and just trying to find the names to give a shout out to Jen. As always, we give a shout out to Native V, Victoria, and then we have a shout out to Jarrell. And anybody that you see with the green letters are now supporters of our membership part of YouTube. And so we give a shout out to them, and there are going to be some chats and stuff that they have access to that a lot of people don't. There's a lot of things that they're going to be able to see and do. You will be surprised the level of people that we have talked to that's going to be coming forward, doing some interviews here for Project Black. And they're not just, these are people all over, ex-military, scientists. I mean, some of the great minds is out there. And like I said, some of those people, I do make contributions to some of the charities, and people like these people that are supporting, from the shirts to the monthly memberships, and all of that is changing the game. And believe me, it is not. In fact, I want to bring this to y'all attention, and then we're going to move on. I think some people got jokes out there, and I wasn't going to say anything, and maybe I don't need to if it's not readily at hand's way of what I was going to show you. Maybe I even need to do it, but it did fire me up though. It fired me up, and I was like, "You fire it up, dude." All right, okay, so yeah, all right, so maybe that's a good thing. Oh no, it's not. It's right here. So I get this envelope in the mail. Just kind of show y'all. I get this envelope in the mail, and someone was really like, "We want to support you," and I'm just showing y'all this. I was like, wow, that is so beautiful. And I pulled it out, and I was like, they are supporting the show. Ladies and gentlemen, they sent me some fake money and said, in the note, it was like, you blah, 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 blah. And I thought it was a joke at first until I read the note. And people are really against some of the things that we do. They really are. And I just thought it was funny for a second. And like I said, it was, it was cool. All right. I opened it up. It was like, we're going to support you. And I was like, somebody sent, $5 bones. Right. And like I said, it's fake money, on the back, you don't see that, but it's not. But when you look back, the stamp, it's fake money. Anyway, it's like a promo code, something or whatever. So anyway, that's cool. I get treated like that sometimes. And that's okay. And when I was excited, I opened it up. I was like, oh Lord, the universe. All right, fuck it now. All right, so let's go. We're gonna get back into our conversation. So there's another video that he showed. Okay. And this is what I thought, not a video, but a part of the clip. I thought it was kind of weird because he was talking about the problem that they're having is that the great minds are not on the on the deal. They're not on the job. The great minds, the people who could really solve some of this mystery is not on the job because the government won't give them clearances and everything else. And I'm like, what? Why not? Look. And it makes you understand it's okay. I guess it's okay to do some of this stuff, but look at him closely. Follow this closely. Look at all of his hand movements and everything else. I just want to tell you, look at what he says.
Finally, what you're seeing is that a lot of people who are within the intel communities as well are frustrated, and they want to bring it out because they haven't been able to figure it out because the best minds aren't working on it.
Yeah.
The crazy scientists at Harvard, MIT, Yale, or wherever are basically not allowed in because maybe they do a little bit too much of this or other things, and they couldn't get a security clearance if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that? They're doing a little too much of, and they can't get a security clearance because they can't pass the P test. All right, so that's fine. That's fine. And whatever else he said they're doing. Isn't that funny? Where he's talking about some of the best minds is at this point to where they want to. I know, right? That money thing was messed up, man. That was messed up. That's okay. I will call them out. They did accidentally put a note in there, and the return address. I did a Spokio. You can do a Spokio. I'm an investigator, so I can do a skip tracing, right? And I found out who it was, and I'm like, really? And I haven't said nothing to them yet. I might, because it came in the mail yesterday. Well, I got it out the mailbox here at the command center today, but it came in yesterday. So I just thought it was kind of weird, and it was like, you always asking for support, blah, 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 and this is bigger, you don't need to be begging, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the? But I am going to cut them off completely. And, anyway, that's another story. But I get that. But I get people like Native V and all of that just blesses me. Jen, a lot of these people, Victoria, all these, I can keep going. And if I don't call your name, doesn't mean you. Some of these other people are down like 4 flat tires, okay? And that's what it's all about. But think about what he said. He said that we got a problem with the scientific community. Some of them are out smoking weed, or he said it. That's what that means. And it could be weed. I'm just using weed as something small. It probably could have been something bigger, and he said they doing other things too that they cannot get a clearance. All right, so whether the record or whatever it is, it's one of those deals that you like, whatever. So that's also, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that statement? I'm gonna play it again, and should we even care that he's saying that some of the greatest minds are high or getting high? All right, let's play it again, and. In which meaning we supposed to take credibility in some of the things that they say or reports that they give. So I'm gonna just play it again. Tell me what you think.
Finally, what you're seeing is that a lot of people who are within the intel communities as well are frustrated, and they want to bring it out because they haven't been able to figure it out because the best minds aren't working on it.
Yeah.
The crazy scientists at Harvard, MIT, Yale, or wherever are basically not allowed in because maybe they do a little bit too much of this or other things, and they couldn't get a security clearance if they wanted to.
Yeah.
All right, so what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about what he's saying? Put it in the chat. Does it matter? Do we care? I mean, you may be a weed smoker, so what does it mean? It doesn't affect, I don't smoke, so, but does that matter? The greatest minds use mushrooms or whatever. In fact, is it an enhancement, right? It could be an enhancement. But should they be not allowed to be working on a military program because they're smoking some weed? Or are they nuts? We need the best of the best out there. We don't need no barriers like that. At least that's my opinion. Oh my God. Let me make sure that's my opinion only. And for that, yeah, puff pass, whatever we want to call it, but they should be letting those people on the program. If I really want to say what I want to say, it'll be some stuff like that's what I would say, right? Come on, man. Let these people in the game so we can get where we are and pretty much from there. And so I don't know. That's me. That's my opinion. And y'all may have something different. Some of y'all may work closely with some people that get a hold of some of that stuff and lose their freaking mind. They're all over the place and stuff. All right, so let's get into he says to make my mind greater now. He on his way. He's I'm finna go get me some. I heard that. All right, so basically, let's go into a statement he talked about advanced life forms. Let's go into that.
You have to speculate. What do you think it is? Let's be bold.
I think it is an advanced form of intelligence, something that we don't understand, that is using some kind of intermediaries, however it is, like I said about the, you're not going to end up in the middle of the tribe, the angry monkeys that are flinging muck at each other or nuclear bombs. You're not going to show yourself in the middle of the ambulance. You're going to send intermediaries. It's not that they walk amongst us, that wearing a skin suit are actually the alien, right? No, you're going to basically put something there that is, I think of it as an intelligence test. Can you see what's in front of you for what it really is? Yeah. Can you see the anomalous data point that is there that you realize what it is? I mean,
Now, think about this, though. Think about what he said, that the extraterrestrials or aliens, he felt that they were doing, saying, we're going to send things that, can you figure this out? Can you figure out that what we're doing is one of those things? And I thought that was pretty interesting, because there's a couple of books out there that I was reading, and one of the things was that they talked about how they interviewed an alien, and the alien was saying that they placed a few things here on Earth for us to for us to understand that we wasn't, we didn't evolve from Adam and Eve, so to speak, that or apes, but we were created to be here. And one of the objects that they said you have to notice that we put on Earth for you Earthlings to see is, out there. Okay. And so here, let me read here. Someone says, let me put it on the screen here for a second. My brother told me back in the 70s, his late day of enlistment in the Air Force, he spiked the coffee with LSD, sat back and watched the show. In the world today. So his brother, did that. All right. So we have a short order cook. Welcome to us with you tonight. The Body Electric Supplement is here with us. James Johnson is here with us. Matthew Crop Circles, he said. Wolfman, of course, is in the house. We already know Diana's in the house. Magneticus, and anyone else new that popped in that I don't have you in here. But anyway, I need y'all involvement. What do y'all think about that? What do you think that he's saying that in his mindset, though, meaning he doesn't feel that they are walking among us. So that means that he probably have a different sentiment when it comes down to the bodies of the extraterrestrials. So what do y'all think? Put in the chat. Help me out. Come on, get involved into the conversation of what he's saying when I showed that clip of they could be sending signals and signs to us so that discoveries. But wouldn't we want something bigger? Wouldn't we want a knock me over the head sign versus some subtlety that the big secret keepers are hiding from us? Wouldn't we want something? But wouldn't you want something bigger? I know I would, or maybe not. I just want to see the bodies. Just show me the freaking bodies, because that's what's going to count. But what do y'all think about that? Put it, I just showed the clip. And like he said, is that they are supposedly sending us some type of indicators, that we're supposed to be figuring out to see the light. And if it is something we already know, at least we know the big secret keepers and everybody else already know because they're keeping a secret from us. These other multinational companies are reversing the technologies because they're keeping a secret from us. And now Congress is saying that they're in disclosure mode, but then they're keeping a secret from us. And so now what needs to happen? What truly needs to happen on a public side of things that the entire public, including ourselves, will then say, hey, we there it is. And so, yeah, I don't know. So JC says that's why I think it's inside material. Probably so. Probably so. I think pretty much everyone knows that. They know, what is happening when it comes down to that scenario. And I think that's something that we need to consider. That is all inside stuff. And this is what they're doing. Make sure y'all like and share it. Make sure you hit the like button. There's almost 100 people here tonight. And so definitely if you all hit the like button and pretty much, and if you have not had an opportunity to become part of our membership at $2.99, that's just the smallest level. And that's the most appreciative too. Any of it, you can show your support for that. And it's, if I did one of those coffee commercials or commercials of the other countries where you can support a child for less than 30, what they say, like 20 cents, so much cents a day. Let me see how much support in our show at $2.99 is a day. And so we can run a gamut like that. And hopefully you feel sorry for Wilda Big Secret. And then you'll get your membership. Anyway, $2.99. I'm going to just go by 30. That's less than 10 cents a day. 10 cents a day, you can be a new member of our. Okay, Victoria says there she is. She's a new member. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, and we got a super chat there, 720. I have evidence of video alien footprint in my karate school and marks on the wall. I was asked by the government to find the alien portal to Utah. Okay. Rat Generation X. All right. Hey, listen, go to wildabigsecret.com right there on our contact us page or either in the Project Black one, both. There's two places. Leave your contact number if you're willing to share some information with some of us. We want to hear about it. We want to hear about it 100%, and that would be something that we could do. And pretty much, Dinah says she wants to get a shirt in person while she's here. We'll see if we try to make that happen. I know you say you're getting out of here tomorrow. So, all right. What else? Energy could be fake. Yes, energy could be fake. She said, I upgraded. I didn't realize. Ha! So you did not want to upgrade? Do I need to? She said, I upgraded last lie. I didn't realize. So you saying it was a mistake or not? You upgraded. All right. So, but if you were donating, you can go straight through Cash App. I don't know what that means, but anyway, well, thank you twice. We've been a member twice or once, twice, whatever. But anyway, for 10 cents a day, y'all, is our membership. If you want to just get the smallest level and support the channel, that's less than 10 cents a day. A dime a day. So tonight's show, a dime is where it is. Okay. Not a dime bag of what we was talking about. I don't want a dime bag of that. Then that's $10 on the street. Okay, that's fine. Then I can resell it to Magneticus or somebody. He'll buy it. All right. So let's go to the next part of the thing where he talks about how do we accelerate? How do we get this out? And listen, I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm about to share this part with you. And this is something I was trying to do 6-7 months ago, but just listen to what they're trying to do today. Let's go.
How can we accelerate this, right? Like, we want to get the brightest minds on this. I think maybe you and I share this. Like, let's go. Let's do it.
I think you need to bring together, I mean, this is the part of this professionalization.
Yeah.
You need to bring together the right set of, basically, frankly, anthropologists and sociologists. How do we talk about the fact that we're not at the top of the intellectual food chain, first of all? How do you deal with the religions? Every one of these religions is going to basically look to whatever that is and say, okay, well, what do they believe? Right? We know that the Vatican is involved. I mean, and I'm working with people who are working with the Vatican to basically get them. They've already said, this is very arrogant, they've already said, well, of course they can be Christians. Of course they can have a Jesus. They can be saved. They have a soul. I mean, I think the opportunity is for us to worry about whether they think we're worthy of saving.
All right. So what do y'all think about that? And pretty much, and also what we'll probably do, because I know some of the chat, some of you may say, times are a little difficult, or the shirts pricing is a little different. Just remember, we're supporting what we're doing. The shipping is included in that, and so that's about $6, $7, $8, depending on where it's going. So really, about $20 is a little more is what a shirt costing and everything. So I just put the shipping is included, and the taxes that I have to eat on the report from there. So those are one of the things that we could do. So someone says, talk to y'all, I'll do an after show or something from there. Thank y'all, I'll do an after show. I don't know what that means. Wow, I hadn't heard the Vatican part yet. I'm getting ready to play that next. Okay, I'm going to play the Vatican part up next, what he said completely with that. And I think that is something weird, and it's more powerful to what is going on there. And I think it's pretty cool that we but hey, like I said, what's going on out there is a powerful thing, and pretty much. So let's discuss that. And I'm gonna play once again this little clip one more time, and then I'll get into what he said.
How can we accelerate this, right? Like, we want to get the brightest minds on this. I think maybe you and I share this. Like, let's go. Let's do it.
I think you need to bring together, this is the part of this professionalization.
Yeah.
You need to bring together the right set of, basically, frankly, anthropologists and sociologists. How do we talk about the fact that we're not at the top of the intellectual food chain, first of all? How do you deal with the religions? Every one of these religions is going to basically look to whatever that is and say, okay, well, what do they believe? Right? We know that the Vatican is involved. And I'm working with people who are working with the Vatican to basically get them. They've already said, this is very arrogant, they've already said, well, of course they can be Christians. Of course they can have a Jesus. They can be saved. They have a soul. I think the opportunity is for us to worry about whether they think we're worthy of saving.
All right. So once again, there you go. He alluded to the Vatican and religion, but what he also said was it is time that they trying to what we call professionalize the conversation. What is it that 6 months ago, and let me put this out here in the front of things so that we understand something. And this is just something that I've been working on for months, but all right. So once again, here is the Project Black shirt. What was the tagline? I created this tagline 8 months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago. Start the conversation, because I knew how essential it was that we need to get and start these conversations. Now, what you're hearing, the game plan from a higher level will not reach into our communities. It's not going to get that low into the communities unless we do it ourselves. But they trying to get the conversation so it normalizes things and get people more acclimated when something goes down. Now, we'll talk about the religion part in just a minute, but what I'm saying is they're trying to do it from the top end. And if most people, and we can't see what needs to be done on the ground level, there's going to be a lot of people caught off guard. There's going to be a lot of people who can't handle the truth, right? They're not going to be ready for it when it comes down to this thing. And if you think that the message that he just said is going to get down into our communities, no matter what communities, and this ain't got nothing to do with Project Black. We're talking the levels down in societies that are not watching this stuff, that's not playing. And if you think the message is going to get there,
hell no.
It's not going to get down there unless we do this. So I'm okay with that. Everybody here understands what's happening. I'm okay with you knowing what's going on. Now, I'm not going to go with the whole turn that everybody's walking around in our community is woke. When I say the ufology and conscious community, because I still think there's some people sleep and they claim to be woke and they're still asleep. And so that's fine. We're not talking about that. But what I'm saying is that we need to focus on the fact that, just like I'm doing with this particular situation, is to get into our communities on a deeper level, because I know this. I know what's happening. I interview people all the time. I see the emotion, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm afraid that there's people in your household, there's people in your friends, and that they can't handle what's about to happen. People, they're not going to handle it. And if they're in the wrong hands spiritually, religiously. Oh, I ain't even said that yet. Don't let me go there, but I'm gonna go there. Don't let them be in the wrong hands today of a religious faction that is not ready for disclosure. I'm telling you, it is a dangerous situation that some people could be in right now if they're in part of some religious faction who's not going to accept the fact that there are maybe beings from somewhere else. And they're going to do everything they can, and God forbid that is some other type of situation that we've heard in the past where they're taking their own lives, thinking they're doing this, or the people. It's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. Somebody says, I like the shirt if you have a tan color. Yeah. If you cash out right now for the shirt, and I can put it on a tan shirt. It'll take a couple of days for them to send the shirt over here from the warehouse that I use. But yeah, we can put it on a tan shirt. Definitely could do that. So what I'm saying is, again, it's one of those things that I think it's pretty cool to know. And I'm saying to you, what do we do? And I'm saying this is a serious situation. And I think it's one of those deals that we would have to go, but it, in other words, something we got to look into, right? Hang on, let me go here right now. All right, so I'm just answering a message, and we will do so. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, it's going to be a situation. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight for the minds. There's going to be people going after each other's mind. And that's where the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. If their mind is blind, they can't see what's going on. And I don't care what they think they see, their eyes is not going to function properly. And I'm saying this metaphorically about whatever is going on out there. Okay. And so again, in the world today, definitely you can do that. So it's one of those things that we have to make an understanding of what is getting ready to happen if they do that. And so things like Project Black, stuff like, again, the Black League or Alien Contact Knowledge, where we're going to get down into the indigenous communities. We're going to, dig up some of these stories, because once again, too, I was doing some research today, and I started looking back at World War II, and I was speaking with someone else on the phone today, and I was like, wait a minute, most of those people who were living back that time and all these other times and some of the era that we're trying to dig these stories out of, it's about to be transition. Okay. We on the clock. We own the clock, because some of these people host some incredible stories. Some of these people know some incredible details, and hopefully they pass them down to someone else in their families and do that. So my request is this: if any of you are ready to talk about your contact experience, and contribute to what we're doing with the project. And like I said, that's for any of all of us, there is a form. This is still a volunteer form, but in there you can write about your experience. And if you're ready to come on camera, all I want, get you a good webcam, if you can, some good lighting. You can get a webcam, $19, $20, get it from Amazon. And then once you're done with the interview, send it back if you don't want to keep it. We just want to make sure the contact is good for everybody, or the content, as we go down that road. All right, so let's go backwards for a minute. Sonia in World News is here with us. Thank you for coming in. And Short Order Cook said, I'm so late. I'm sure if I converted that NASA and Meta that spent $1 million on taking theologians on how to introduce extraterrestrial religion. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's a plan, folks. Okay. They are planning right now while you sleep. They're planning to figure out how to keep control. They don't want to lose control of the biggest system of all, and that is some of these religions. And so there's like, what do we do? What do we do? It's about to, we've been doing it for thousands of years. It's about to come loose now. How do we keep the religion? That's where how do we keep from losing? We can't lose that portion. And I'm not saying religion is not needed, because it is. There is, I pray. I mean, religiously, I pray, right? So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the story that they're going to use is still going to perpetuate the stories of some lies in some of these areas that some people know that are not where they need to be. And how do we get, because you're going to have family members caught up in it. When I'm telling you now, I'm saying it now, if there was some type of real disclosure happening, and you're going to have fights in the house, because religion has caused more wars than anything in our past. And it's going to be in the house again. Excuse me. Oh, burped that water out. Y'all heard it. All right. So anyway, you're going to have fights in the house. You're going to have fights in the house, because this is not going to be the best thing to happen, because there are going to be some people saying they're lying to us, and the other side in the house are going to be saying they're not lying, and they're going to go at it. They're going to go at it 100%. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is the problem that is going to, come into our households. It's going to come into the doorsteps. And then don't let it get out of hand, where religion is now no longer a barrier that some people feel that it keeps them in check. And now the crazy stuff begins to happen. So we know that. And we know some of the things. D said, let me put this up. D said, so as a kid, I was visited by 3 cloaked figures. I wish I had more details on this race. Could be one. One was in red cloak, black cloak, and white cloak. They spoke telepathically. Any ideas? You know what? There are some stories that I've heard a little bit, D. In fact, I was talking to somebody else today that was talking about how they often get visited by orbs and different things. So it's not, your story is not something that we have not heard. And his belief was that maybe they were spirits. Okay. You're welcome to go into whythebigsecret.com, go to the contact us or the Project Black volunteer side. And also it says submit any type of experiences. You can submit there. And hopefully you provide a telephone number, then I can call and give you a little more insight. I'm really interested in helping and talking with any and everyone who has had an experience of any kind. And so those are things that we will look at it. Cranky Pants says, unfortunately, I raised my kids as born again Christian, and now they're so stuck on that my son thinks I'm crazy and I'm wrong. Well, what was one of the messages in the book? Raise a child as a kid, blah blah blah, and he's gonna grow up. So yeah, they already knew that system was gonna implant what you're dealing with today. That's okay. But the experience of it is, what you don't want to happen is that he mentally cannot handle the truth. And when the truth comes out, how would he react? So I'll start asking questions like that, just like hypotheticals, like, oh, son, what do you think if there were aliens? What would you do? And if he starts saying something, by that time, Mom, I'm going to grow up and get my gun and I'm going to shoot him. We got work to do. We got some work to do, right? So that's okay. But just think about it and begin the process of doing that and see what he says. And so, yeah, once again, it's one of those things that I think is, important, but glad to have you here, part of the conversation and sharing that, because that's something that we would love to do. So, and in the world today, say having to read the books, Exodus and Ezekiel, and it's in the Bible. Okay, but that's fine. And depending on the age, and you see how the interpretation would be, but at that point, and but again, it's going to be the hand that rocked the cradle, right? We know that. So whatever he's getting and comfortable with, and so we just kind of go from there. But once again, so now we're talking about the Vatican. Nick, if you're still here, what are your thoughts now that you hear Garry Nolan talk about the Vatican? Let's see what you say in the chat, and then we can kind of get from there, and pretty much, and we can kind of see what's going on. Jeff, if you still with us, let me know in the chat. I might bring you into the conversation for a few minutes, with something we might can laugh about a little bit. But, the whole point is that, where are UFOs in the Bible? Somebody give, a lot of different things. But one in particular I would tell you to start with is Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And that just simply says, let's make men in our image and the likenesses of ourselves. That's just the beginning point. Genesis is the beginning. And so go there, because that particular verse is in plural sense. It's telling you that it's more than one person. Now, of course, I've said it a ton of times that I'm here on the show that in my house where I grew up, that was the Trinity, the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, and all that stuff. But that ain't what it meant. I can tell you that. But let's make men in our image and the likenesses of ourselves. So obviously a group of people said, let's make men look like us. And that always answers the questions, because people will say, Roderick, what do aliens look like? What do they look like? And I'll say, what if we look like them? What if we look like them? And so that's a question and answers that I don't think most people want to know from that. And so that is something that we could to look into. So if you do have those conversations, you can have those conversations, and I think it will be pretty cool about that. And Joel says, let's not forget God misplaces creations. All right. So at this point, the question for all of you is, let's get into the portion of what he said about the Vatican. I'm just going to play that part one more time, because I think this is probably one of the biggest pieces to it all.
Right? We know that the Vatican is involved. I mean, and I'm working with people who are working with the Vatican to basically get them. They've already said, this is very arrogant, they've already said, well, of course they can be Christians. Of course they can have a Jesus. They can be saved. They have a soul. I think the opportunity is for us to worry about whether they think we're worthy of saving.
And there you go. And like he said, was the thing was, we need to worry about if they think, the extraterrestrials think we are worthy, while we're trying to save their soul. They're like, are we worth saving? And that was just an undertone of saying, what if they decide they wanted to take over this place? If they wanted to, they could. And believe me, if there was something that was going to be done a long time ago, then they probably would have done it when we had bow and arrows and muskets, and not now we got nuclear weapons, right? Probably, unless they just been traveling quite some time. Another thing, and let me try to find something while we here, and I'm going to see if I can find it and bring it in the conversation, and see what happens here. If I can get a picture of this thing. And it's kind of something that makes you wonder what is happening here. And I'm sorry, let me hang that up. Okay. All right. So let me see if I could get this particular picture that I need while y'all are here. That ain't gonna work. Let's see. Let's go. All right, let's do it like this then. All right. Okay, so I'm getting something together that I want to add to this discussion. And then you all can tell me what you think about this. And that ain't gonna work. Okay, so let me try this and we will see. Okay, I'm almost done. So thank you for your patience, but it is worth the freaking conversation that we're about to have here. All right. Okay, let's do there. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can bring what we need into the stream now that I have it where we are. All right. So let's do that. Do that. Boom. And boom. And this is just kind of, I'm going to do a whole show on this probably in a couple of days, but it's definitely part of a conversation that we want to have. All right. So anyway, let me look back into the chat and see if you guys are okay. So nobody's going to comment with me on the Vatican side, right? All right. So another thing I want to bring up is, do y'all remember an article, and the word on the streets of ufology, that preparation is everything. They're trying to prepare us. Something is coming. There's other things that's going to be happening down the road or whatever. And what really caught my attention, and this only thing that really caught my attention when it comes down to this, is what I'm about to show you right now. There was an article that hit. Y'all remember that Jay-Z and Beyonce bought this house. Look at this place. $200 million freaking dollars. Look at this place. $200 million. Now, you would think $200 million would do something totally different. And so this is what they bought. But what people are finding out, the backstory is that this house is an old bunker. It has underground living. It's a bunker for protection, for whatever. And that goes back to, part of the stories of what we think we hear of what is happening out there, right? And so my thing is, why would they spend $200 million unless they know it is needed? You got the money, you just don't waste it like that. So you're going to go buy the ugliest house on the planet. Okay, it's got a beautiful pool, some great landscaping. You can get that for 100 G's at a house like that, or maybe, $50,000. But it's underneath that thing is something totally different. And why are they preparing for that? And that is a whole totally different thing. And so that's something that I want to truly find out so that we can see what is pretty going on. Diana said, oh, yeah, this is the YouTube side of people supporting the YouTube membership side. It's totally different from some of the other stuff. But anyway, for those of you who want to support the YouTube channel and what we're doing here through YouTube, that's what the membership side of things are. But listen, why would they pay $200 million? Why would they pay $200 million? Well, they got it. Okay, all right. They got the money. Why not? But once again, because they're either in the loop of something and they're preparing. Because we already know that a lot of people are buying old missile silos right now as a waiting list, that the people are constructing these things for bunkers and hideaways. We've been hearing about that for quite some time. That's nothing new. And so the question remains is, why are they doing that from their perspective? And okay, so that's something that we definitely want to find out and look into, because it's the real deal. It's happening out there, pretty much so. So I don't know. And yeah, in the world news today, so maybe maybe they thought something. Maybe they, like he said, maybe they talked to Bill Gates. I don't know. But see, all of this stuff comes into play when we decide how we want to interpret the information out here, right? We got to start deciding what we're hearing. And then, like I said, start asking the question, why? Why the big secret? Why is that? So I got a few questions that I want to go over before we get out of here. And maybe these just things for you to think about when it comes down to Garry Nolan and pretty much. And these are my why questions. This is my whyology side. So if you let me know if y'all are paying attention to me, at least listening, that, if I ask some of these questions, you might post some answers. Let me know who's all with me. I got some questions of why for us to go over together, and a few, statements and thought-provoking things. But I just don't want to throw them out here. I want some help, So let me know if you are in the chat and you're willing to help with this outline of things that we're going through. And so I'll start with the first why is, out of all times and why in all of his career, why is Dr. Garry Nolan making these assertions now? Why is he doing it now? Why now? What are y'all thoughts about that? Because I got a bunch of questions I'm gonna ask, but why do you think he's doing it now? I don't have the answer. I have an assumption, But what are your thoughts? Why is he doing it now? Because remember, he's been around this a long time. He's been connected for quite some time. And he's probably been protecting the secrets like the big secret keepers for quite some time. But why now? And someone said, I would like to know who he was. I'm out about, but something is coming. Okay. Lauren says something is coming. Crank your pants. I'll get over his background in a minute and bring you back up to speed. But Clinton says, I think because he can't hide it from us anymore. But he can. He just don't have to say nothing. You know, he's definitely going against his peers, you know, for stepping out. I know a lot of them don't like that. He's like pulling the trigger too soon, because it's not like he's saying that extraterrestrials are living down the street at 2300 Jackson Street, right? He's not saying that, which if he said that, that'd probably be a little more better for us, you know, but still. Nick says, let me put it up here now. My guess is that his timing is scripted, but I bet he doesn't know that. I don't think he's on it like that. I think that's all intentional. It could be, Nick. It could be. So that's the other questions. But it also, if that's the case, you know, why would we consider Dr. Nolan's perspective credible? You know, but like I said before, he's been around this thing. You know, why would so obviously, Nick, do you consider whatever he's saying is credible? You know, he does have the evidence of supposedly the track record, the pedigree that he's been around it, you know, and pretty much the misunderstood get put aside, the ones don't look the part. Okay. Mr. E says because he knows something would eventually happen. Okay, that's cool too. I probably agree with you on that more than anything. He knows. I'm gonna be in that at least agreement. Wouldn't you think that, Nick, that he knows from working with the government, the agencies? He's the one they called out. He's seen he did the case studies. He studied the minds and the physical things that was happening to some of these pilots. And now that he's probably getting a report, this is happening daily with a D. So, or he could be believing that it's now happening more frequently. I don't know. So, you know, what is that? Darrell says, you know, I believe he's preparing us. It's like he could be in the loop, but also just the early part of a full story. So I don't see him taking on a role as, you know, Edward Norton, he's a whistleblower type thing, because he's not doing that, because he's not providing the evidence behind what he says. So I don't see him taking a role of a whistleblower or change agent or agent for change. But he also is saying some stuff that I think is pretty out there in pretty much. Nick said, looks like he's telling us all he knows, as his role is in the script. He's playing it unknowingly. Native E said, realizing information bit by bit to test the people's reaction and to get some more comfortable with the idea. Now he has been known to walk back some of this stuff this week, but this is not the first time though. He's always said a few things on the line and then he'll walk them back, right? So it's like he does what the government does. He knows the tricks. You can let something out, then you walk it back. You let something out, you walk it back. You let something out, you walk it back. So this is not something uncommon that he has not done. So we're not saying that he's not capable of pulling that crap off. But at the end of the day, you know, what is really happening when it comes down to, you know, what he's doing, per se. And so, you know, I don't know. I just kind of look at it and say, okay, that's fine. We can look at all these things from whatever perspective that we can do. But all right, so interesting comment. Native V is what Clinton say. All right, so what happens? Let me look at for another question here. So what about him putting his reputation and credentials online, and at the unique weight of these claims, because you got to believe that, like he said, that most of the people around him was like, you're going to ruin your career. And like he said, it hasn't. but we know this guy carries some weight. He carries a strong stick when it comes down to this thing. Why would he put his reputation on the line, Nick? Why would he go? Any of y'all? Why would he do such a thing? Because at this point, unless he's been kicked out of a program and now he's ticked off and he's fighting back, and like, y'all shouldn't have never kicked me out. But at the end of the day, why is he doing and saying what he's saying? Because at this point, it's still looking like, that we're in a situation like that. So, what's y'all thoughts on that? Garry Nolan hurt his credibility. Okay, let me go back here. Garry Nolan hurt his credibility when he walked back Dr. Stephen Greer's really? Skeleton, saying that it's the fact that's deformed human being. You're talking about the little bitty, the little bitty, wasn't like 2 or 3 feet? Not 2 or 3 feet, like 6-inch skeleton. Is that the one you're talking about in the world? If I'm not mistaken. So that'll probably be the one you're talking about. And yeah, let me know if that was you're talking about. That's the little picture that's been around surfacing quite some time, that he was doing stuff like that, where he was like, okay, we're going to, yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the one. Yeah, and so, yeah, if y'all don't remember, it was like a little 6-inch, let me see if I can pull it up on the screen here and find it. Like a little 6-inch alien that this thing been surfacing, and people been, talking about it. And I think it was like 6 inches. Let me see here. I can get an image for y'all. Yeah, okay, I have one. All right, so I'm gonna pull it up, and then y'all can kind of see this thing. All right. What the heck? There we go. Yeah. All right, so let me see if I can bring it into the live stream and see what he's talking about. But yeah, because at this point he did get a lot of slack behind that, and this particular image was sent around for quite some time, that everybody thought it was a bona fide alien picture. So let me bring it into the live stream. Y'all can check it out. So this is the picture he's talking about. This is where he, Stephen Greer and them came out and said it was real. He said he studied it and it's not real, or could have been some type of, human that was born this way. And so they talked about that as well. And I work for Kroger. I talked about aliens and weird conspiracy to all my coworkers. And it's not like I'm in a career, and she's just saying that you'd be surprised how many people at my job love talking about me. Well, you know what? You can go back and talk about them whenever y'all get paid, whenever you work there, and show them the paycheck and say, look, look, that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Your tax money, you're paying for it. You're paying for all this stuff. And then they can kind of see that and what is happening from there. So that's something they could do. And so that's not bad, for them to be trying to understand that mess and pretty much. And we can definitely go that route as well. So, all right. So we could do all of those things from there. Anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here? Looks like the little alien men in black controlling a human avatar. I don't know. That's been around for quite some time, though. That particular image has been around a long time, and pretty much from there. And so I think it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know. Let's see here, and but yeah, I think it's and let's see. So Dr. Greer and Emery Smith. Let's put this up here. A specialist ET autopsies take some DNA to the lab and found that it wasn't human. And that was a lot of backstories behind that picture. So once again, I put it back up on screen. This is what they're speaking of, this particular picture. So they are talking about that, and I think it's pretty, there you go. I mean, it's one of those deals, but it's just little stuff that we need to pay attention to. It's the little things that we need to don't take, for granted. And pretty much, he says these people are talking coded. We know this in so many words. The curtain is being lifted slowly. If the Vatican is talking about baptizing aliens, something is coming. I probably couldn't say it better. I've probably said it, a few times, that there is something coming down the freaking pipeline, and it's amazing that we do have people that are not willing to look at the scenario. So what you're saying is right off the back, I should say, on the button, that we got these people and they're not trying to truly, come clean. But yet they're trying to send these subtle hints of preparation, and maybe it's because they're sending them to their family members. Maybe they're trying to tell their family members, like, hey, watch me what I say tonight on TV, and then y'all can figure this thing out. What I'm trying to say. Maybe that is something they're looking at doing. I don't know. So it's something interesting that you will look at this and just kind of understand, but maybe that's what they're doing. Who knows? So I think it's something that we can consider and try to go, okay, wait a minute, what's happening? What's really happening when it comes down to that? I don't know, but something is coming. I would probably agree with that. When? I don't know. Could be 10 years, 100 years. I'm not shocked that Beyonce and a lot of them bought, a bunker for $200 million to live in if necessary, because it's definitely going to be if necessary. They're not living there, right? They're not living there, and out of all the cribs that they got, ain't no water near that place, ain't nothing. But it's a bunker, a 200, and what's underneath that thing, who knows? But they definitely pay for what's underneath it, and not definitely what's sitting on top of. And I don't know, but who would sell the bunker? Why would you sell your bunker? If you had a $200 million bunker, why would you sell it? So, like, I don't need the money. I can't take the money with me if something comes, unless you're saying, hey, I got a better ticket. I'm getting off the planet, and so you can have my place here because we're getting off the planet. A few of us, got some spacecrafts and we getting off the planet. Maybe that's the story. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we have to understand from there. All right. So, all right, we're about to come to a close here, and I just want to make sure if we covered any and everything. If you have not had an opportunity, like and share the videos. Comment on the videos afterwards to get the algorithm to begin to point. Move anything. If there's any particular topics or anything in particular that you want me to cover, go to wildabigsecret.com, the website. Definitely do that. If you later on, if watching this video, you want any of the merch or anything that we have, the link to the website is down off in here as well. And that you can kind of do that. You can go and order through the website some stuff that you want as well. And then someone says, show off that jersey you're wearing and what team number. The jersey on the back is, I forgot what the name is on the back. It's a name on the back of the jersey. Let me see. I don't even know. Y'all can read it. Y'all tell me. I forgot what's back here. And you might can't even see it, but it says it's time to believe. That's what it is on the back. The front, it's an old jersey that came off, but it used to say team extraterrestrials. And the number is my life path number 3. So it's my life path number 3. Okay. And then it is team extraterrestrials. And then on the back, it says it's time to believe. Same as the hat up here. It's time to believe. And so Yeah, so that's what it says on the jersey. Definitely not an Eagles fan. I am in Dallas Cowboys. And next time I'm gonna order a blue one, because if I ever want to do green screen work, I can't wear this shirt because of the green in the numbers. So that is one of the deals. Yeah. So my life path number is number 3, and on the front it says extraterrestrials, which peeled off. But you know what? I can put it back on now that I got the equipment to do. Yeah. So it's life path number, and then on the back it says it's time to believe. From there. But the same thing it says here with the hat. It's time to believe. So that's one of those things. So with that being said, is there anything else we need to cover tonight before we get up out of here? And we will be doing just that. And I want to thank each and every one of you. We will talk more about a couple other subjects coming up in the next few days. And then also, I'm trying to do a flat earth debate versus round earth. So if y'all know anyone that you can make contact with that may want to be part of the debate, send me the information through the wildabigsecret.com website so I can reach out to some of them. Yes, Cranky Pants, thank you. Make sure y'all hit the freaking like button. Definitely hit the like button, thumbs up and all that stuff. Post your comments, and hopefully you find some value today. And if you do decide to get your membership and just be a curious mind, it's $2.99, less than 10 cents a day, 9 cents a day. You can support this channel for less than a dime. Some of you got a dime sitting out in the cup holders and all that stuff. So definitely you can do that from there. And so with that being said, we're going to, I'll end this in fashion of what we're doing. So we will do that. All right. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. Like I said, you could have been any other place tonight. You chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I want to thank you for being part of the live stream tonight. And watch out for some of my other videos. Make sure you like, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We'd love for you to do that. We got other content that we're going to put out and some stuff. But in the meantime, it's all about us doing. My boy Droney is in the house. What's going on? Y'all give Droney a San Antonio, Texas in the house. And Droney, if not, send me your contact information. Do it go to the wildabigsecret.com if you want right now. And then there's a contact page. Put your telephone number in there. I'd like to reach out to you and from there. But anything else, Lauren, thank you for the comments. Keep up the good work. JC say much love. Cranky Pants says good night. JC Clinton, JMC Clinton says good show. Native V says good night, everyone. So definitely say good night to everyone so that we can do the things that we're doing and be where we are. And we got a long place to go, y'all. We've got a long way to go. But we're going to get there together, and we're going to search this thing as truth seekers and everything else. And so we're going to do that. So love to each and every one of you. Hug your children, hug your family members. Listen to the people that have experiences. Trust the witnesses. That's the new mission for you to go on. So let's do that.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shots that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery. anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Let us consider the question, why the big secret?
To everyone tuning in, let me ask you, why the big secret concealing it from the mass view? UFOs circle in the sky, still get no reply. I think it's time for truth seekers to rise. Hands up if you're feeling how I'm feeling. Spread the truth and start revealing. Knocking down the doors of the big secret keepers. Truth seekers coming through your speakers. What? Come on. Hey, are we alone? So many questions unanswered. Secrets amassed like a poisonous cancer. Find the files, but the evidence tampered. UFOs flying by become the standard. The war for information is far from over. Truth seekers bringing disclosure. What's done in the dark shall be revealed.